Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Average Age Plays. This time, we're looking at the Burgundians. And before I get into the Burgundians, you might notice that this video is a little bit different from normal. We're actually playing a 4v4 match. Normally I like to do 1v1s. That's my focus for the Average Age Plays, is to show how you can play all of the different civilizations in a typical 1v1 random match. So I have not done in the past a lot of Empire Wars, team games, things like that. But I don't find myself beholden to 1v1 games specifically. I thought this was a really fun game that showed off a lot of the Burgundian traits. So I figured it would be worth, putting this video up and showing you what the Burgundians look like. And not to mention, I also enjoy mixing it up a little bit for your enjoyment. So hopefully you enjoy watching this team game as well. We have myself in the purple, playing as the Burgundians. Over here in the orange, we have Docboy the Awesome, also known as Hiram of Tyre. So my usual casting partner that you've heard in different videos. In the orange, playing as the Britons. Over here in the yellow, we have Maniacal Rodent, our finalist from the Noob Cup. He has, since the Noob Cup, decided to, take part in some of these team games and play some AoE with us. I gather that he has enjoyed the game and wants to continue playing it. So, enjoying having him aboard. And he is playing in the yellow as the Poles. So you'll remember from the Noob Cup that he was one of the opponents that actually had access to the DLC civs. And he's trying out the Poles here. Fun Cav civilization. I look forward to getting to play with them for Average Age Plays. And then we have in the red, Hothier, one of my AoE buddies, in the red playing as the Goths. So this is the four of us. Our opponents are, let me see, we have in the gray, we have a player playing as the Mongols. We have Pinky, not playing in the pink, but in the teal, as the Berbers. We have Didi in the green playing as the Burgundians, and then Manson 972 in the blue as the Vikings. So for our Average Age Plays video, and focusing in on the Burgundians, keep an eye on this left-hand western side of the map, right? So it's going to be me, Hiram, and then the Vikings and the Burgundians. So it's a Burgundian versus Burgundian pocket setup here on the left-hand side of the map. Now, with all of that out of the way, talking about our whole 4v4 situation, let's look at the Burgundians and the Burgundian bonuses, right? So, first things first, economic upgrades cost 50% less food and are available one age earlier than other civilizations. Now, this bonus is fantastic. Just the food bonus by itself is nice. Being able to pick up a double bit axe or your early farm upgrade, a horse collar for 50% less food, that is huge in the early game when every bit of food matters and you're trying to scrounge it all together to keep villager production going. Being able to afford these attacks that have a massive impact on your economy cheaper is nice. And let me point out, by the way, yes, I did shoot my second boar with the town center. Boy, was I feeling rough when that happened. It was definitely a noob kind of moment, it felt like to me. So don't do that. Don't shoot your boar with the town center. Because you lose all the food, it goes down, you have to shoot it with a villager in order to be able to claim the food. So, yeah, that one hurt. Anyway, but being able to pick up those economic technologies cheaper is nice. On top of that, being able to pick up those technologies, an age earlier is amazing. I have right here, I'm picking up double bit axe right out of the gate in the Dark Age. That, of course, is normally feudal age technology. It means that my lumberjacks will be collecting wood faster. My wood production will be higher and higher. Now, you don't necessarily want to pick up all of the technologies as soon as you can afford them. You still want to keep an eye on your Dark Age timing. Sometimes that food, even cheaper, that food is better spent, building villagers, and trying to get up to the feudal age faster. That is still food you're spending, or wood you're spending, and you might want to put those resources elsewhere. So timing those technologies is important. In my case, I do love picking up double bit axe, so I decided to pick it up then. A lot of times what people will do in a 1v1 or AB situation, they will wait until they are teching up into the feudal age, and while they're teching up, they will get the wood upgrades and maybe the horse collar upgrades, right? In my case, I have picked up both of those. Because I shot the boar, I wanted to go into farms early. I knew I was going to invest heavily into farms, and so I wanted that technology sooner rather than later, right? Now, you will notice, again, my mirror opponent, DD. I'm going to be talking about DD a little bit because he and I are playing the same civilization, so we can learn some things from his approach too. We are taking very different approaches. DD is hitting the feudal age with 20 vills, and so he's kind of doing a fast feudal, a very fast feudal, in fact. My game plan is to kind of do a fast castle. I want to invest heavily into the castle age. Why? Well, take a look at my next bonus. Actually, take a look at two bonuses here. Stable technologies are 50% cheaper, and the Cavalier upgrade is available in the Castle Age. Now, you probably remember this too if you watched the Average Age Plays Bulgarians video, because my opponent was Burgundians, and he demonstrated this then. But you get access to the Imperial Age Cavalier unit in the Castle Age. That's amazing. Now, it's not the most overpowered thing in the world because they do not get access to bloodlines. So what that means is, in a knight versus cavalier fight in the Castle Age, fully upgraded both ways, right? A cavalier is essentially a cavalier without bloodlines is essentially a bloodlines knight with 2 additional attack. It's nice, it's big, but it's not overwhelmingly so, right? It's still something I want to take advantage of. It's a really great bonus. And so that's kind of the difference between DD's approach and my approach is I am wanting to get to the Castle Age ASAP and take advantage of that bonus. Whereas DD, he's hitting the Feudal Age and he wants to scout rush alongside his buddy Manson, who is together, they're going to be putting the pressure on Hiram, right? Hiram is taking a very, I don't know, kind of a strong eco focus. You'll see because he doesn't even have barracks up yet, and that will hurt him early on. Hiram, a little bit of a spoiler here, but Hiram's going to be playing the anvil in this situation, just absorbing the hits in order for us to break through. Right. So, excuse me. I just hit the Feudal Age, and you'll see I am almost ready to tech up as it is into the Castle Age. There is a problem, though. If we take a look at these numbers, I have made a mistake, which is I think it's because of the walls. I invested so heavily into the walls. I am short wood. So normally, as soon as I hit the Feudal Age, I'd throw down a blacksmith, I'd throw down a market, and I would be ready to go up to the next age. As it is, I cannot do that. I don't have the wood for it. And I am committed to walling, so I'm going to keep the walls going. I'm staying in the Feudal Age longer than I normally would. And here you'll see the wall doesn't even connect to the forest because I ran out. I'm totally out of wood. So we're going to be in the Feudal Age a little longer than normal. And here, yeah, here's our opponent. Here's DD. Now, the trick with this is, the reason that Scout Rush is a little dangerous is that if you put out some scout aggression early and your opponent is able to respond, let's say that, Hiram, he had the blacksmith up. He gets spearman out for the scouts. He repels that. Well, then what do? You're the Burgundians. You wanted to go knights. You wanted to go cavalier. But, and here we go as he continues the raid. You want to go cavalier, but your opponent is already primed to respond. Now, fortunately for DD, Hiram he did not have a response ready. He does not have blacksmith up, and so he's been kind of caught unawares, and that means that Dee Dee's raid will be very successful, right? And I feel bad because I'm supposed to be, as the pocket, I should be supporting my partner, right? That's my job. Hiram here, now to be fair to him, I think, here we go. Okay, he does have the blacksmith up. Now he's kind of been walled in, such he has to go all the way around, but he does have a blacksmith. He is getting spears out. So he is responding. But he's definitely in trouble. He's doing what he can. And for me, I've kind of committed to this fast castle situation. I don't even have the wood to get spearmen out of my own. So I'm just having to tell him, hang in there, buddy. Hold on, I'll get there as soon as I can, with Cavalier. But it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get those techs in. And note, by the way, again, let me highlight this. I'm going up to the castle edge. I am, and while I'm doing that, I am picking up that Castle Age wood upgrade already. So I'm able to get that bonus in earlier. I can't emphasize this enough. The Burgundians are an economy civilization. They have some of the best economics in the game. Economic situation, economic techs. They're fantastic, right? So you gotta love the Burgundians. Here I am. I'm getting a second stable up. So I've got at least 2 stables. I think I'm even going to commit to a third, if I remember right. And the game plan is to pump out knights to respond to both, Dee Dee and the scouts, and then also we have Manson here with skirmishers, right? I'm also picking up the feudal age cav techs so that when my knights do come out, they have those ready to go. And it was kind of nice. I mean, again, I was in feudal age longer than I wanted to be, but it meant that I was accumulating even more food, even more gold. And so, as soon as we take up to the next age, I'll be ready to roll with knights. That's a pretty good feeling. Yeah, Hothier's holding on. Meanwhile, briefly, let's just talk about this. We have... Again, the Mongol player is being pressured by Hothier. Hothier's doing a good job. He hit Castle Age himself, got knights out. That's pretty great. And Maniacal Rodent will be there to support him too. But let's take a look at this. So going back to the technologies, the Cavalier upgrade's available in the Castle Age, and it's cheaper. All stable techs are cheaper. So picking up not bloodlines, but what's it called? The other tech that makes your cavalry go faster. What is the name of that technology? What's it called? It is called Husbandry. There we go. Wow, I can't believe I forgot that. Husbandry is cheaper. And here we go, as I'm picking up Husbandry in just a second here. The Cavalier tech is cheaper. And then, in the Imperial Age, Paladin is cheaper. Now, Paladin is one of those technologies that is amazing. It makes your knights fantastic, but it costs so much that in a 1v1, you often don't want to pick up Paladin. You would much rather just get out more Cavalier, right? Well, for the Burgundians, the Paladin tech is so much cheaper, it is therefore much easier to tech up your knights, right? So you have fantastic knights. Now, the lack of bloodlines means that in the long run, you may not have the best knights in the game, but you have these power spike moments where in the Castle Age, you get to pick up Cavalier, and that gives you temporarily some of the best knights in the game, or best cavalry in the game, Cavalier, in the Castle Age. And then in the Imperial Age, because the Paladin tech is so much cheaper, that means that you can, that means that you do for a moment, you're likely to pick up Paladin much faster than anybody else, or indeed maybe pick up Paladin when others just simply wouldn't. And here we go. I am attacking with knights. I have the Castle Age armor tech. So does Dee Dee. We both only have the feudal age attack tech. I just picked up Cavalier. I was waiting and stalling to get Cavalier. he, alongside Manson, will push me out, but not before I got a bunch of kills on Manson. It was, let me see here. Yeah, I got 15 kills and only 8 deaths. I don't see where I got the Eco KD. Here we go. Okay, I got 2 kills on Manson and really kind of shut down his Eco for a little bit. Took some pressure off of DB. Sorry, off of Hiram, right? And I have more Cavalier coming in. This is an interesting situation because, he and I have the same, same civilization. We got kind of the same approach. One of the big differences, though, is I have since picked up iron casting. He has not. So my units are a little bit better than his are. And that means that I will win this fight. Even with the extra numbers, I think I should win that because of the extra tech. If not, it's going to be close. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this is a fight I win almost exclusively because of the blacksmith techs. And now I see, oh no. Here we got a castle. I'm going to do what I can to stop this. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? It's close. It is so close. And we have, again, Didi coming in to back up Manson. I'm trying to focus on the army. Ah, here's this Vil. Goes down, and there with the last hit of the hammer. I took the Vil out, but not before the villager could get the castle up. So, Manson paid a lot for that. I now have 8 Vil kills, but he was able to get the castle up. So let's see. The other bonus I want to highlight, I keep going back to these bonuses, is that for the Burgundians, their gunpowder units do 25% more damage with each attack. So what that means is, yeah, you definitely are a cavalry civilization, but in the late game, in the Imperial Age, you do have access to harder hitting hand cannoneers and harder hitting bombard cannons. And I imagine you get access to the bombard tower as well. I don't know whether that bonus applies or not. I'd have to look that up, because I don't know that the bombard tower counts as a unit. But what is certainly the case is, I know for me at least, I don't often use the bombard tower. I have yet to figure out when the best time to use those towers are. But right now, I'm all in on cavalry, which is the typical Burgundian play, right? One other thing that's a cool team bonus for the Burgundians, let's talk about that a little bit, is their relics. When you collect a relic as a Burgundian player, you get both food and wood. Food and gold with the relics. So that's kind of a neat bonus. And here I am just sort of supporting Hiram, just making sure that Didi can't raid, with impunity, right? So, here we go. Here we go. Here's the fight that's breaking out now. I'm fighting under the castle, so I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, this is a fight. I think we would have lost that if we didn't have the castle, but with the castle, that pretty much assuredly gives me the win. Right, so anyway, you get to collect, when you get relics, you get both food and wood. Now, it's not the most food in the game, but it does add up. It helps. So, you are certainly encouraged as a Burgundian player to pick up relics. Now, there are some other bonuses we can talk about, the unique units and the unique technologies, but we will have the opportunity to talk about those a little later, so I'll save those. Instead, we'll keep an eye on the action. So, I have taken my Cavalier. I've wiped out half of Didi's Cav force. The other half is looping around to raid there, so I will be attempting to address that in a second. No, I won't. No, I'm going on the offense. I'm going on to raid Manson more. I want to try to keep him down. I'm kind of hoping that I can do more damage to Manson than Didi is doing to Hiram, right? And I get distracted. I'm trying to keep my economy going at home. And so while I'm doing that, the Cav are attacking this house, and it gives them just enough time. Just enough time to wall up and keep me from raiding and killing vills. So, good for Manson. Now, so there's some good news, bad news for him. The good news is, I mean, he is picking pikemen. He's got that upgrade in. That's nice, but he has no blacksmith techs. So, my blacksmithed up cavalier do kind of wipe the floor with pikemen. You know, they're not able to do that much damage. Still, I realize at one point I'm really not breaking through. I'm not making much progress, and I need to go back and help Hiram more because, again, he's not really having the best game. He's having trouble, and you know, he's trying to respond to this. So I'm doing my job as the pocket and helping my flank out. Meanwhile, again, things are going very well on this side of the map. You know, Hothier and Maniacal Rodent are putting in some great work, just absolutely shutting down the Mongol player before he could really get, you know, Mangudai out. So that they did very well over there. Now you'll notice, I mean, I've already picked up all of my. I got handcart going. I have bow saw, heavy plow. I forget if I pick up the Imperial Age text in advance or not, but this bonus has already been really helpful for me, eco-wise. DD, on his part, has already picked up the wood upgrade. I think that's the right move. Good for him. He's not picked up heavy plow yet, but I think that with your eco text, typically, generically, the wood upgrades are the most important, then the farm upgrades, the handcart, wheelbarrow text fit in there somewhere. The mining technologies are the ones that you really want to prioritize last, if at all. Although, again, with the Burgundians, they are cheaper, so it's not as much of an investment. DD going on a raid. I am, again, distracted, but I will respond to this eventually. Hiram is, he calls it rabbiting. He's setting up a base in the back of my base. Yeah, look at that. Okay, maybe I don't respond. Maybe I say, hey, Hiram, you got this. I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, there we go. I finally respond when you've got... No, I don't even respond. Look at me. Look at this terrible pocket player. I'm joking. Just check this out. Yeah, okay. I don't think I see the barracks. Do I see the barracks? Yeah, no, I don't see it. I think I just have this sense that I need to go back and I'm a little worried about something. I want to, at some point, just keep an eye on this barracks here in the back. That's going to be a story for later. But at this point, I've hit the Imperial Age, and I'm the first one to hit Imp, which again, thank you, Burgundian superior economy. I mean, you have an economy as the Burgundians that few can match. In fact, I'd say as far as pure potential goes, I don't know that anybody has a better economy than the Burgundians, right? There are some civs that are eco-focused. I think the Chinese are like that. But the Burgundians really do have a potential that, again, I don't know that anybody can match that. Notice as well, I have thrown down, because I had so much wood. I was floating a lot of wood at this point. I've got, yeah, right now I've got 4,000 wood. So I decided to throw down a bunch of archery ranges in anticipation of putting out hand cannoneers. I love, as the Burgundians, typical Burgundian play, I want to get hand cannoneers out once I hit Imperial Age, because here's a moment. So there's a moment earlier. I wish I had caught it. I sent 2 vills up to build this forward castle. One of them got killed by DD, but fortunately he didn't notice the other one, and so I was able to wall in and get this castle up and running. So anyway, my game plan. I've hit the Imperial Age, and I'm going to want to get chemistry out soon. Yeah, here we go. I have sent my my paladins, my upgraded paladins are now fighting his cavalier, and we're doing a lot of raiding, a lot of killing in his base. I'm trying to shut down DD. because I consider him kind of maybe the big threat. As Didi is trying to raid Hiram. Yeah, we're getting a lot of kills here. And behind that, I've got chemistry going. Or I will have chemistry going in a second. Right now, I'm picking up my attack upgrade for the paladins. Again, cheaper paladins. I can afford this. Most civilizations don't want to do that. I want to say I'm distracted at this point. Yeah, I'm finally pulling them back. But at this point, I've pretty much ridden them off. I'm just trying to do whatever I can with what I've got. But yeah, they go down. This castle's slow going because it's got a single vill on it, but I do get it up before anybody notices. I want to say that Pinky flares it right before it comes up, but it's too little too late. So, the game plan for me, because at this point, everyone has dealt with my paladins, they've expected that, and I'm going to keep paladins going in my back pocket. But I want to get these hand cannons out, these harder hitting hand cannoneer, and we're going to have some fun. Now, it's at this moment, all right, this is a cool moment. I realize I've not finished fully walling, and I want to. So I send a single vill out to kind of, check out the fog of war, and I'm going to end up building a wall. That's the game plan, right? But when I do, I happen to notice, hey, wait a minute, there's this barracks, and it's actually garrisoned. Blue, Manson, he's actually in my back line building infantry. That's scary. That's the bad news. The good news is I just so happen to have the counter for infantry already ready to go. So I'm sending hand cannoneers before I send them forward. And I do want to send them forward. I've got siege workshops on the front line. I'm planning on using those harder hitting bombard cannons, right? But before I do that, I need to clear out this presence in my backline because I do not want to be in the middle of dealing with Didi and Pinky and then suddenly have Manson, raiding my economy and messing me up, right? I don't want that. So meanwhile, Hiram is kind of holding on for dear life. He's taking a beating. He's keeping on ticking. But that's what's going on in the back there. Meanwhile, I come in. And I feel really lucky. I feel lucky that I caught this. Lucky that I already had the response ready to go. This is pretty typical for a Burgundian situation, though. If you're a cavalry civilization and you're doing well, the opponent will often want to get barracks out and go pikemen. And so hand cannoneer is a great choice naturally for dealing with pikemen. And here you see, look at this. I mean, I just mow down these long swordsmen. Yes, it's true he only had the feudal age upgrades, but even then, just having the more powerful hand cannoneers, it does a number. All right, here we go. Meanwhile, I'm trying to juggle, different attacks here at the same time. So I've got hand cannoneers out. I'm kind of dealing with those barracks, and I'll deal with them just fine. But meanwhile, I've got my paladins, again, fully upgraded paladins, dealing with his cavalier that have only the castle edge techs. So my cav is better. And this is sort of a difficult situation because I find myself sandwiched between Pinky and Didi. And I'm a little worried about if I go heavily against one side, then I'm worried about, kind of being flanked by the other. So I'm trying to do damage to Didi, but then also do damage to Pinky, and not entirely sure what the best play is here. I've got Maniacal Rodent coming in to help out. One of the big things in my mind is to try to shut down the production buildings. Because if I can shut down the production buildings, then in the long run, even if he has a bigger army, I can produce it faster. Here I go on a raid again, but this time Manson is here with some pikemen, and that definitely doesn't help. So, got the siege. I don't have a response, though. Well, I do have the Coustilier, and this is the Burgundian unique unit. This is a great opportunity for the Custilier. They are unique in that they have what's called a charge attack. So, with the Custilier, their very first attack is supercharged. But then after that, they need to recharge that charge attack, and then every attack after that is just normal, or even a little bit weaker than normal. So, the Custilier is great at just sort of wiping out these Cavalier. You know, I think it was a great use for them, because it's sort of a hit and run move. You showing up, you hit them, you leave. Yeah, now come over here, knock out that trebuchet. More cav coming. These bombard cannons have done a fantastic job hanging on for dear life to finally go down. But I've still got 2 more up and running. Now, at this point, I need to get these units. They've cleared out the barracks, right? And we'll turn off Fog of War here. We have this town center with a single Ville. He's not really doing much, so I need to get those units onto the front line. Yeah, here we go. I think this is when they finally go down. Nope. Nope. Bombard cannon. Still hanging on for dear life. And I think we're seeing out of Maniacal Rodent, something that we saw throughout the Noob Cup, is he is very good. If he can get to the late game, he's very good at massing up numbers. He's got a good instinct for that. Oh, here's a moment. All right. Let's talk about the Burgundian unique technologies, right? I have been thinking at this point, you know, it's been going on a while, Imperial Age. I want to make sure that I have a gold supply. So I went to my castle to click the, I think it's called Burgundian Vineyards. Yes. And what Burgundian Vineyards does is it gives your farmers the ability to generate gold. Now, it's not a lot of gold. I'd say if you have, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say if you have 40 farms, it's like the same as having a relic. So it's not the biggest thing in the world, but it helps. It does add up over time. So I thought now is a good time to pick up Burgundian Vineyards. I hit the wrong button. And instead I clicked Flemish Revolution. Now, you are already familiar with this tech if you saw my previous video on the Bulgarians Average Age Blaze. But in case you missed that video, what it does is it turns your entire economy into this Flemish Militia unit, which is kind of a half spearman, half champion. It has stats very similar to a two-handed swordsman or champion, but it also has a bonus attack against cavalry. It's very good against cavalry. I didn't mean to, but I accidentally clicked the text. So now I have next to no economy, but I have an army. I have an army. I have indeed 100 plus Flemish militia, supported by hand cannoneers, paladins, and I'm going to get some siege out on top of that, I want to say. So we are going to see the Flemish Revolution at work. So the Burgundians have some very cool, unique technologies. Make sure that you click the right one when you are going on the offense. So we do see Manson attacking my trebuchets. I'm sort of so focused on the offense, I don't really see the trebs at first. But it just so happens that they are right in the walking path of my Flemish militia. And I just so happen to see, as I'm going along, okay, wait a minute, guys. That's not supposed to be there. And so in just a second, I'll tell the Flemish militia to attack the trebs. And yeah, they do a very good job of wiping the floor here with Manson and his units. So at this point, I mean, I've got the harder hitting cavalry. I've got the harder hitting hand cannons. I have the Flemish militia, that infantry support ready to back up and just simply overwhelm DD and Manson, while Hothier and Maniacal Rodent are taking care of the Mongol player and the Berber player. It's a really good situation. This is, in a team game situation, this is exactly what you want. Now, DD calls the GG. He's out, Manson is out. right? So at this point, I think I can, maybe move the game out a little faster. But one of the things I want to highlight, because deities surrendered right about the same time that the Flemish Militia even showed up. So I still have, 69 Flemish Militia on the field here. Flemish Militia are really, really good at simply just swarming and overwhelming your opponent. It's one of the things that I think, looking back at that Bulgarians video, that my Burgundian opponent maybe made a mistake on, is he might have been a little too timid with his Flemish Militia, and trying to preserve those numbers. You want to overwhelm your opponent with the Flemish Militia and just, overtake them, right? Let's see if I can speed this up a little here. I'm kind of surprised that for some reason the game is not fast forwarding as quickly as I'd expect. I think it has something to do with it being an 8-player game and just the game trying to process the numbers. But anyway, so at this point, I mean, the game is pretty much over. It's a 4v4, and they've lost 2 of their opponents. We've lost. They have lost 2 of their players, right? So it's a 4v2 at this point, and the Mongol player has surrendered now, so it's just Pinky. He's alone. This game is over, right? So we're gonna hunt down Pinky, but yeah, you see here, I see a castle. I'm not worried about it. Just throw your Flemish Militia at them. We've already won this. This is a win more move, and I don't need the siege. I've got Flemish Militia. I have, the hand cannoneers and the knights as backup. This game is over. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, again, let's kind of go over the Burgundians one more time and talk about what we saw of this game even before the game is technically finished. So we see, again, the cheaper economic upgrades. It is amazing as far as getting your economy up and running out of the gate, right? That's fantastic. So they have some of the smoothest transitions into the feudal age, into the castle age of any civilization because of those cheaper techs, right? The stable technologies are 50% cheaper, and the Cavalier upgrade is available in the castle age. And what that does is it gives you incredible power spike opportunities as the Burgundians. You have some of the best knights in the castle age because you don't have knights, you have Cavalier that you can upgrade into, and you can upgrade into them cheaper, right? In the Imperial Age, you can upgrade straight into Paladins, whereas everybody else needs to upgrade into Cavalier and then Paladin in the Imperial Age, right? And again, it's a cheaper upgrade for you too, so it's more feasible to go Paladin for you than it is for most civilizations. Now, there are other civs that have better Paladins in the late post-Imperial Age, right? There are other civilizations that have cav bonuses, but in the short term, in kind of those power spike moments, you can have harder hitting cavalry at key moments that others can't. You also have the 25% stronger gunpowder units, so you have great hand cannoneers, you have great bombard cannons. Those are opportunities that are available for you, right? Looking at the team bonus, relics gathering food and gold at the same time. I did eventually pick up a couple of relics, so that is helping me out. It's not the most important thing in the world. I wouldn't say it's the same thing as Lithuanian relics give your knights +1 attack, right? It's really not that big, but it does help. It does add up, especially as you collect more, and it's a team bonus. So that means that, we have Maniacal Rodent taking advantage of that bonus. We have, I think, is Hothier taking advantage? I don't know if he is or not, but that your entire team is benefiting from that bonus and those opportunities, right? So it's a nice thing that helps out for sure. Especially if you go Flemish Revolution like I do, and now you've got to rebuild your economy from scratch. Well, you have that food generating in the background, which is nice. The Coutelier, that is a fun unit, especially if your strategy involves hit and run maneuvers. So Coutelier are great if you're going to, move in, kill vills, hit and run, and then pull back and back out, right? Or if you're in a situation where you're saying, boy, what I need is a cavalry force to go in, hit this thing really quickly and then back out, If you want prolonged combat, stick to the Burgundian cavalry line. The Cavalier and the Paladins, they are the better choice there. But when you have those opportunities to say, hey, I need to move in, hit this thing real quick, and get out, Coutelier are perfect for that. And so they are definitely a fun unit to experiment with. I am looking forward to playing with Coutelier more. They're a lot of fun, right? But then you have the Flemish Militia as well, which we did get to see in action this game. By the time I brought the Flemish Militia into the field, the game was sort of already in our favor. I think them showing up and approaching DD's base is what caused DD to resign. Even though we didn't get to see a lot of damage out of them, because I pulled back as soon as he surrendered. But as soon as they show up, it's there's so much pressure that they cause that if you're not able to hold on, again, I was lucky in the Bulgarians game to hold on against the incredible pressure of Flemish Militia. A lot of times, it's just too much. It's overwhelming. They will wipe you out, and it's game over, right? Even though you don't have an economy back at home or you're slowly rebuilding it, the damage that they can do is just too much, right? So that's a great move there. Flemish Revolution is a really awesome, really unique technology. So yeah, I like the unique techs. That pretty much sums it up for the Burgundians. They have an amazing economy, some really great power spikes, some really strong cavalry, great gunpowder. Don't underestimate the infantry. I think that's, in talking about these average age plays, and I focus on the strengths of a civilization, don't underestimate the other options that are available. They're maybe not as flashy, but you can go infantry with Burgundians. Sometimes that is the right choice. You can go archers with them. But yeah, these are the unique strengths of the Burgundians. Their cavalry, their gunpowder, the Flemish militia. Use their economy to get your blacksmith techs going and your economy going. And they are very, very strong. That wraps it up for this Average Age Plays. Leave a comment first about the Burgundians, what you think about them. Are you a fan of Flemish Revolution? Or are you one of those players that thinks it's maybe too unique? It's too different from a typical Age of Empires tech. I know I've heard that on some of the forums and things. Some people don't like Flemish Revolution. But let me know what you think about the Burgundians, but also let me know what you thought about this 4v4 experience. Did you like it? Did it mix up the Average Age Plays experience in a way that you enjoyed? Or maybe you prefer the 1v1 experience and you like seeing how Burgundians can be played in, or different civilizations can be played in a 1v1 environment. Do you want to see a 1v1 Burgundians game? Let me know what you think. And, in the meantime, thanks so much for watching this series, for watching this game. This is the Iron Kaiser along with the Burgundians signing out.